Welcome to a week of extreme weather across the United States, where the only thing predictable is unpredictability itself. This week, the nation has been caught in a whirlwind of meteorological surprises, with temperatures and conditions swinging wildly from one extreme to the next. It's a true case of weather whiplash, as communities from coast to coast have experienced a rapid succession of dramatic changes, sometimes within just a matter of hours. From record-breaking cold that sent thermometers plunging well below average, to sudden bursts of warmth that had people shedding their winter layers, the nation has been on a meteorological roller coaster. In some places, residents woke up to icy winds and snow, only to find themselves basking in spring-like sunshine by afternoon. And it's not just the temperatures. Precipitation has been equally unpredictable. Heavy snow blanketed cities and towns, creating winter wonderlands overnight, while other regions were drenched by relentless rain, flooding streets and making travel treacherous. Mother Nature is keeping us on our toes, challenging us to adapt to whatever she throws our way. Gusty winds have turned simple walks into battles with the elements, and umbrellas have become both a necessity and a casualty of the blustery conditions. This saga is driven by the jet stream, a fast-moving river of air high above the earth that acts as a steering wheel for our weather. This week the jet stream has dipped dramatically, carving out a deep trough over the central United States and setting the stage for these wild swings. That dip has allowed the polar vortex, a swirling mass of frigid Arctic air, to spill southward into the central and eastern U.S., bringing with it bone-chilling temperatures and icy blasts that have caught many off guard. While one half of the country shivers under layers of coats and scarves, bracing against the cold, the other half is preparing for a completely different challenge. The west and south are gearing up for heavy rain, with dark clouds looming and umbrellas at the ready. For some, the rain is a welcome relief from drought, but for others it brings the risk of flooding and hazardous roads. As the week progresses, the cold air begins to retreat, melting snow and ice and revealing the first hints of spring. The transition is swift, and the landscape transforms almost overnight. A ridge of high pressure builds in, bringing a rapid warm-up and clear skies. Temperatures climb quickly, and the memory of the deep freeze fades as people step outside to enjoy the sunshine. We'll take a closer look at the shocking cold that gripped the southeast, where even palm trees found themselves dusted with frost and cities unaccustomed to winter weather scrambled to respond. In places like Atlanta and even parts of Florida, residents faced rare icy mornings, with news crews reporting on slick roads and people scraping frost from their windshields, a sight almost unheard of in these regions. Meanwhile, the Midwest was buried under heavy snow, with blizzard conditions shutting down highways and blanketing neighborhoods in deep drifts. Snowplows worked around the clock to keep roads clear, and families hunkered down, waiting for the storm to pass. Out west, California saw unusual rain, with palm trees swaying in the downpour and city streets glistening under gray skies. For a state more accustomed to sunshine, the wet weather was both a blessing and a challenge, and as if that weren't enough, forecasters are already watching the horizon for the next big event, a new storm system expected to develop over the weekend, promising yet another round of wild weather. Understanding this ever-changing weather is key to staying safe and prepared. From checking forecasts to assembling emergency kits, a little preparation can make all the difference when the weather turns. So buckle up and get ready, because this week's weather is a true roller coaster ride, one that reminds us just how powerful and unpredictable nature can be. The week began with a weather event that took many by surprise. An exceptionally early and powerful cold front barreled across the country, signaling the arrival of winter far ahead of schedule. Meteorologists had been tracking this system for days, but few expected the intensity and speed with which it would descend. As the cold front swept in, it brought with it a dramatic shift in temperatures, catching residents off guard and forcing communities to scramble to prepare for the sudden chill. This was a true Arctic blast, originating in the frigid expanses of northern Canada. There, icy winds howled across snow-covered tundra, gathering strength before plunging southward. The cold air mass, dense and relentless, surged over the border, setting the stage for a week of record-breaking cold. Driven by a powerful dip in the jet stream, this mass of Arctic air was funneled directly into the heart of the United States. Overnight, millions found themselves reaching for heavy winter coats and scarves, as temperatures plummeted to levels more typical of midwinter than early fall. Cities that had enjoyed mild autumn days just a week before were suddenly gripped by a deep freeze, with wind chills making it feel even colder. For many in the southeast, this hard freeze arrived nearly 3 weeks earlier than usual, catching farmers and local officials off guard. Crops that were still in the ground faced the risk of frost damage, and communities scrambled to protect vulnerable infrastructure. Water pipes, unprepared for such an early freeze, burst in several towns, while power grids strained under increased demand for heating. The cold front shattered expectations and records alike. Thermometers across the region dipped to new lows, with dozens of daily low-temperature records threatened or broken. In some areas, temperatures dropped more than 30 degrees in just a few hours, leaving roads icy and hazardous for morning commuters. This was not just another cold snap, it was a historically significant event, the kind meteorologists reference for years to come. The early arrival and severity of the cold raised questions about changing weather patterns and the increasing unpredictability of seasonal shifts. The Arctic air mass didn't just affect a small region, it blanketed a vast portion of the United States. From the snow-laden shores of the Great Lakes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, communities experienced a rare and widespread taste of winter. Even areas unaccustomed to snow and ice found themselves dealing with slippery sidewalks and frosty mornings. The dramatic contrast between the frigid Arctic air and the lingering warmth of the Gulf of Mexico set the stage for volatile weather. As these two air masses collided, they fueled intense storms, heavy precipitation, and even rare instances of thundersnow. Meteorologists watched closely as the atmosphere responded, producing dramatic weather events that made headlines across the nation. The early arrival of this Arctic blast had far-reaching impacts, from daily routines disrupted by the cold to broader questions about how communities can adapt to increasingly unpredictable weather. As we explore the effects of this historic event, we'll see how Americans responded to the challenge and what it might mean for the rest of the season ahead. The Arctic blast hit the South with a ferocity rarely seen this early in the season, sending shockwaves through communities more accustomed to mild autumns than bone-chilling cold. Temperatures plummeted overnight, dropping to unheard-of levels for November, shattering records that had stood for decades. Residents woke up to a world transformed, lawns and rooftops coated in a silvery frost and the air so cold that every breath hung visibly in the morning light. In states like Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, the mercury struggled to climb even into the 40s Fahrenheit during the day. For many, it was the coldest November morning they could remember, with car windshields frozen solid, and people donning heavy winter coats usually reserved for January. Overnight lows plunged into the 20s and 30s, putting delicate plants at risk and forcing pet owners to bring their animals indoors or bundle them up against the chill. Gardeners scrambled to cover their prized flowers and vegetables, hoping to shield them from the sudden freeze. Meteorologists predicted more than 40 new daily record lows across the southeast, as weather maps lit up with alerts and warnings. News tickers scrolled urgent messages, reminding everyone to take precautions as the cold snap tightened its grip. The sudden drop in temperature forced families to rethink their daily routines. People bundled up in layers, wrapped pipes to prevent them from bursting, and made sure their pets were safe and warm. Schools delayed openings, and some businesses closed early to keep employees out of the dangerous cold. For many, it was a stark reminder of the importance of being prepared for winter weather, even in regions where such cold is rare. Households checked their emergency kits, stocked up on firewood, and hung extra blankets by the door, just in case the power went out. The National Weather Service issued widespread freeze warnings and cold advisories, urging residents to take action to protect themselves, their homes, and their communities. Social media buzzed with tips on staying safe and warm, as neighbors checked in on each other. This early freeze served as a wake-up call for winter preparedness. People rushed to install weather stripping, cover outdoor faucets, and even put snow tires on their cars. Precautions, more typical of northern states, but now suddenly necessary in the South. As the South braced for more cold, attention turned to the Midwest, where the same Arctic system brought heavy snow and even more dramatic winter scenes. Let's see how the Midwest fared with snow. While the South shivered, the Midwest faced heavy snow thanks to the same Arctic air. Lake-effect snow hit areas near the Great Lakes, with snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. Some spots saw over a foot of snow, making travel difficult and causing power outages. The snow extended beyond the Great Lakes, reaching Kentucky and Tennessee. The Appalachian Mountains faced blizzard-like conditions, with forecasts of 12 to 18 inches of snow. Pennsylvania braced for significant lake-effect snow from Lake Erie. This early snowstorm highlighted the Great Lakes' role as weather engines. It was a classic demonstration of lake-effect snow's power. Now let's see how the weather flipped to warmth. Just as quickly as the cold arrived, it made a dramatic exit. By Thursday, the weather pattern shifted, with a ridge of high pressure replacing the polar vortex. This change brought a rapid warm-up, with temperatures soaring into the 70s in the southeast. Texas saw the most dramatic warm-up, with Dallas reaching 82 degrees Fahrenheit. This rapid swing showcased the atmosphere's dynamic nature during transitional seasons. The warmth extended as far north as Montana, highlighting the quick shift in weather patterns. While the warmth was welcome, it set the stage for the next round of storms. This week's weather whiplash continued with California's Deluge. Let's explore the West Coast's unexpected rain. While the East dealt with temperature swings, California faced a different story. A powerful system, an atmospheric river, brought significant rain to the state. Rainfall amounts were forecast to be 300 to 500% above normal. The moisture, pulled from the tropics, led to heavy rain and increased flood risks. This event marked the start of California's rainy season with unusual intensity. Let's see how the state prepared for potential floods. With heavy rain, California's primary concern was flash flooding. Dry ground couldn't absorb the rain, leading to rapid runoff and potential urban flooding. Flash flood watches and warnings were issued, especially near Santa Barbara and Los Angeles. Burn scars from wildfires increased the risk of mudslides and debris flows. Residents were urged to heed warnings and avoid flooded roads. The storm also brought heavy snow to the Sierra Nevada, creating hazardous travel conditions. This complex storm was a reminder of the dangers of too much rain too quickly. Now let's look at the weekend storms brewing in the Heartland. The storm system that drenched California moved east, setting the stage for more active weather. A cutoff low over New Mexico drew warm, moist air from the Gulf, fueling thunderstorms. Some storms could become severe, with threats of heavy rain, strong winds, and hail. The heaviest rain was forecast for Saturday night, with potential localized flooding. This setup was unusual for Tornado Alley this late in the season. As the storm moved east, it ended the southeast's brief warm spell, with clouds and rain. Let's wrap up with tips for staying safe through shifting weather. This week brought record cold, snow, warmth, and rain, highlighting the need for preparedness. Stay informed with local forecasts and heed watches, warnings, and advisories. For those in the south, ensure your heating system works and protect pipes from freezing. In California, have an evacuation plan for flooding and avoid driving through flooded roads. In the Midwest, prepare your vehicle for winter driving and have an emergency kit. The developing storm in the central U.S. reminds us that severe weather can happen anytime. Respect the power of weather and stay aware to navigate these shifts safely. Keep an eye on the sky and listen to local experts. Stay safe, everyone.